So even as the Republican field continues to narrow as the candidates campaign here ahead of the South Carolina primary, a strong case can be made that for the good of the party, the field isn't narrow enough at this point. With John Kasich's second-place finish in New Hampshire, Marco Rubio's dismal fifth-place showing, and Jeb Bush cracking the double digits, what some had forecasted to be a three-man race between Trump, Cruz, and just one establishment candidate, many assumed would be Rubio, is still essentially a wide-open race. Talk of a brokered convention has once again risen to the surface, and here's how Senator Marco Rubio addressed that possibility on Thursday.
That could happen. I mean, we're planning for anything. I mean, we're ready for that. We're ready for a long primary process. We're ready for it to end in a more traditional way. No one can predict this year. It's completely unpredictable.
So with the Republican Party still unable to focus all of its efforts and coalesce behind just one establishment candidate, does that leave the path to the nomination wide open for a Donald Trump candidacy? I want to talk more about that with McKay Coppins. He's in Greenville, South Carolina, as well as one of our panelists, Kirkman Finley, who was here with me on set at the Liberty Tap Room. McKay, let me start with you because you delve into this with your book about the chaos that's happening in the party, and we're living through it live right now about the heart of the GOP, how it can be captured and how that can then go on to take back the White House. Is it so fractured right now that Donald Trump is the only person that seems to have the head of steam necessary to get the nomination?
It certainly looks that way at the moment, though I would, caution against drawing too many conclusions from Iowa and New Hampshire. That said, you're absolutely right that New Hampshire was supposed to be the place that kind of anointed a savior for the Republican Party, right? At least for the establishment. They believe that whoever won the kind of establishment lane there, whether it was Rubio or Bush or somebody else, would be able to consolidate support among the establishment, come into South Carolina strong, and get kind of the rest of the establishment field to drop out so that there would be one candidate who is the standard bearer able to take the fight to Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. But instead, I mean, John Kasich coming in second place was basically the most chaotic possible outcome because now you have three candidates who believe that they can win the nomination. Marco Rubio's camp, by the way, I can report, is not the only one talking about the possibility of a brokered convention. When you talk to people in Ted Cruz's camp, talk to people in Jeb Bush's camp, they're not willing to go on the record and be quite as forthright as others, but they also say that, look, we believe we have the best chance at winning this thing, and we're going to stick it out as long as we possibly need to, and if that goes to the convention floor, then we're willing to do that. And that is a recipe for prolonged chaos, I think, in this primary fight.
Well, and McKay, you brought up the standard bearer phrase. I want to talk to Kirkman about that because as we look at the numbers right now, Trump is leading his Republican rivals with 17 delegates, Ted Cruz in second with 11 delegates, Marco Rubio a close third with 10. Trump's lead, though, can be a little bit deceptive. As we look at Iowa and New Hampshire, he only garnered enough percentage of the vote, 35%, really tracking in a similar NBC News poll as well. He is the front runner. I mean, you can't deny that. South Carolina could help punch his ticket even further and the confidence that he needs to go further. But who do you think from the establishment can break through tonight? People love, I mean, I was talking to the kids over here. They love to watch Donald Trump for the entertainment factor. But there is someone of an adult establishment background that's going to break through tonight. Who's it going to be?
I think that the way I would approach it is maybe the other way. Donald Trump's got his third lockdown. Ted Cruz needs to solidify his position as the solid number two. If he doesn't do that, I think people are going to keep asking questions. If Rubio has another down event, I think his ability to recover from two bad showings becomes difficult. Kasich has got a great story, but clearly Ohio and South Carolina aren't similar places. If Bush is ever going to do it, it needs to be tonight. This is his big chance to come through. But I think what you're really seeing is while there are 6 people competing, we don't have 2 people, as the Democrats do, that are fighting it out and are going to fight it out all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So while there is a lot of chaos, it is not the rancor amongst 2 individuals that I see developing in the Democratic contest that could really be problematic
Well,
long term.
we'll all be watching tonight. You know, Chris Christie, who's not in this race anymore, he was Marco Rubio's debate kryptonite. We'll see if anybody picks up that angle this evening. BuzzFeed's McKay Coppins, thank you, sir, for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. We'll have much more here from the Liberty Tap Room with our panel coming up. But